All right. Obviously, it's been a pretty active offseason with the coach hirings and a lot of personnel hirings. It's been exciting to really get in some quality coaches, the depth of the coaches, the mix between veteran coaches and the youth and guys like Josh McCown, all the new bright ideas. I'm really excited about the staff. We added Adrian Wilson as the vice president of player personnel. We added Brian Decker as the director or vice president of development, and then Kevin Winston is the president of player engagement. So it's really we've added a lot of new pieces. I think not only have we added good coaches, we've started that change in culture, and that's kind of been the biggest thing. And really, what started behind that was David Tepper came to us and said, "Hey, listen, I want the best. I'm not going to play for 500 football. We want to win championships here. We want to sustain this." And he said, basically, he would give us the resources. He said, "Just bring me the best," and he's backed that up. Dave and Nicole were involved in the process. But they've gone out and they've backed up what they said, and we've gone out and got what I feel is like one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL. So it's a big credit to Dave and Nicole. So it's been fun, but with that, I'll open it up to you guys. Right. Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. You have a head coach that's a former quarterback that knows not only how to coach the position, but how to play it. He sees it through the quarterback eyes. He's a play caller. Then you add Parks Frazier to the mix. You add Josh McCown to the mix. And then a really underrated one was Jim Caldwell, getting a guy of his caliber on the staff. So there's a lot of new, bright ideas, and it's with the idea of, hey, whoever the quarterback is, we're going to support him. We're going to put him in position to be successful. We'll give him all the resources, and that's why it's so exciting. Yeah. It was, we talked to him on the phone before, and then we met with him last night. And it's really kind of a get-to-know-you session. What are you looking for? Here's what we offer. This is what we're looking for. So it's kind of a feeling-out process. We're not talking. We're not making any commitments. We're just going down that road. We're also going down the road of, the draft quarterbacks as well. Because of when free agency is right after the combine here, you have to go down multiple roads at the same time. And that's really our philosophy, is to explore every option out there and get all the information, then make the best information once we have all those answers. What's best for the Carolina Panthers moving forward? Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into comparing the guys, because we've had some good people here. Sam's played well. We had Baker here. We've tried different options, and really it's not just about the quarterback, but it's about how we surround them, how we support them with coaching and everything else. So all those decisions will factor in. Derek's played at a high level, for a while. He's got plenty of experience. He's gone through a lot of different changes with the Raiders, and I know he's set all their records, but he's also had a lot of volatility on the coaching staffs there. So there's a lot of things to like about him. Absolutely great guy, talking to him, show leadership. So he's got those qualities, but we're going to exhaust every option too, looking at the draft and different situations to figure out how to best fix this moving forward instead of just putting a patch on it. Well, I don't want to talk about his draft stock. We did meet with Jalen. We met with him Monday night. Did a nice job with us. No issues there. I did not know about the situation that came out this morning. I got a text while we were in meetings. I have not talked to our staff, so we came right from our interviews over here. There would be a lot of things to look into. I just don't want to jump to any conclusions. We'll let it all play out and make a decision. Luckily, the draft's not till April.
You mentioned free agency before the draft. Would it be more advantageous for you to potentially make a trade to move up high in the draft for a quarterback before free agency, so you have a better, clearer vision of what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different options to look at, but that's obviously one of the things you have to look at, because if you want to go that veteran route, that's going to happen a lot earlier, and those guys are gone. So you want to have. That's why we're going to take this week to get all the answers that we need to get. We've talked to a lot of the young quarterbacks here, the ones in the draft here. But yes, I think the next probably 2 weeks is very important.
What's the expectation for the running back?
Yeah, we liked our group last year. Obviously, Foreman is one of the priority guys. I told him that in our exit interviews this year. We'd like to get a deal done with him. We'll see how it goes. We just don't know. It's got to fit for him. It's got to fit for us.
Two things that you and Frank Reich have in common. Both with the veteran quarterback route and Frank Reich, he did the exact same thing.
Yep.
We all know how that went out. How important is it for you to look at Panthers franchise quarterback and putting the right pieces around it?
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you always want to draft a quarterback, draft, develop, and then have that guy here for 5, 10 years. You want to have that consistency. It helps for many different reasons. The continuity on your roster, for salary cap reasons. There's so many benefits to drafting and developing. That is the right route to go. We'll see if we can get in a position where we get one of the guys we like. Is there a guy there in the second round? Can we get up in the first round? Those are all the things we're exploring right now. But yes, you're right. I don't think it's wrong to necessarily look at the veteran route if you can't do that. But in an ideal world, you do want to draft. Sure. Well, you go get the guy that you want. If you have conviction on a guy, you go get him. It's pretty simple that way. If you don't know and you're going to give all these resources to go up and get it, you're hurting your team in the long run. You better be right. You better have conviction if you do move up. But when you do that, you're all in.
Scott, how do you think ways like that when you're developing the young quarterback, the urge to play the guy too early? How does that factor into development? Obviously, years back, players like
Sure.
how does that factor?
There's not a right or wrong time to do that. It's based on the individual when he is ready. Our coaches will know that. You'll see it in practice. You'll see it play out. It's not just about physical tools. It's about how they develop emotionally, mentally. How quick are they processing? How quickly do they pick up the offense? Guys learn at different rates, and you don't want to throw them out there before they're too soon. So if he's not ready, you better have a backup option in place to be that bridge if you're going to go that route. I'm sorry, I missed that. Yes, I think the position has changed because the mobile quarterbacks and the athletes on defense, especially the defensive line, the pass rush, and these really athletic three techs that are getting upfield. You need guys with mobility, and I think the days of the 5 and 7 step stand in the pocket guys are they're not dead, but it's moving away from that. And then I can't remember the second part of that. Again, it's a case-by-case basis. It depends on who the guy is, who your staff is. That's one thing. I have a lot of faith in our staff. If we do take a project, if we do take someone that is more developmental, we have the right people in that room working with him every day. We have a Josh McCown who is not far off a plane. They can talk to him like a player, sees it like a player. We have the veterans in that room that can surround him. And then if you have to put them in, play the game, and maybe they're not ready, whether it's due to injury or whatever, they know how to call a game to put them in a position to be successful. Check downs, move the pocket, all these different things. So, yeah. You're starting to see it a little bit because sometimes those 6th and 7th rounders are getting more money to stay in school, so maybe they don't come out. It'll be interesting over the next few years to see, with this transfer portal more than anything, who are the guys that have really stuck it out and shown resiliency through this to fight through things, or is it just like I'm going to flee once I face adversity, I'm out of here? So there is something to look at over the next few years and study about that. Yeah, Burns is, there's a reason why we didn't move him. We met with his agent. We didn't get into details. We didn't even really talk about him. We'll address that when we get there. But Brian Burns, he is one of the dominant pass rushers. He's young. I think he's only 24, one of the most athletic guys. And he still has a ton of upside when it comes to adding more strength, playing with more technique. That's all there. But I tell you what, this guy's in front of him. He's a huge player. Huge impact player.
What makes Bryce Young such a special quarterback prospect?
I think the poise, the competitiveness, the poise, the ability to process and see the field. The guy never seems stressed when he's in the pocket, and then you meet him in person, and he's just like chill. He's a good guy. Nothing's too big for him. I think I remember, was it a couple years ago at the Heisman Trophy presentation? You know, my wife and I are sitting there watching him, my son, and he was so poised as that. I think he was 19 at the time. And it's like, this guy, it's not an act, it's like who he is. It's ingrained in him. So he's a special guy. Yeah.
Obviously, with you throughout the head coaching search, you obviously know what their roles are, but what if their roles mentioned in those situations as such?
Well, yeah, they're both very important. You know, Dan is, you know, obviously he's probably my best friend, the guy that I spend, you know, every day with, whether it's work days or at our house. He's the guy that I can ask any question. I know I'm getting an honest answer. I mean, the guy cannot lie. even if you want him to a little bit, there's no sugarcoating it. And I really respect that about him. And he's really good at what he does. He's extremely valuable. And then Samir is the guy, like, brutal honesty. He's another guy. And, you know, it may come down to, like, doing a contract. He's like, hey, listen, that's not the value that I see for it. I think we should take this route. You know, he knows that world. That's his expertise. And I have to rely on him. There might be times where I challenge him, or he challenges me, or maybe Dave challenges both of us. But I think it's a really good combination. Like, we work well together. We offset each other. We have different personalities, different styles, but it seems to work for us.
Scott, talking about Samir and Cap, Derek, there's been a report that Derek's
Yeah, I don't even know what that number is yet. We haven't got into that with his agent. Obviously, we have to do some things this year to get under the cap and do some things. You know, there's a lot of different ways we can create money, and like smart ways. We're not just kicking the can down the road. We might have to do that on a couple of things, a couple of restructures, but there's ways to create money. If you want to do it, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll figure out a way to do it. But you just have to make sure you're not hurting the team, you know, in the long run, 2-3 years down the road. Yeah, there's a lot of talent there, a lot of young talent too. I mean, when you look at the ages of these guys, I mean, they're all in their early to mid-20s. So that's something that we can sustain for a while. And, you know, they do have to go out and earn it, but that's a heck of a starting point for this. That's why this team is exciting, because we built it on defense. You know, it started a year before I got here with Marty Herney and Matt Rule. And then we've added to it with J.C. Horn over the years and other players, added Frankie Louvoot in the mix. Then we went and built offensive line. So there's a lot of things to build on with that defense. Yeah, you know, the thing about Terrace is he's had that ability. I think he didn't really get a lot of opportunities early in the season last year. And part of it is special teams and different factors. But then once he got in there, he made a couple plays, then the confidence came. And, you know, he's so young. He came out at like when he's 20 years old, 21 years old. And you got to remember, these guys are young. They should still be in college. And, you know, I think with the coaching that he's had, and the coaching that he's going to get with Sean Jefferson, he's about ready to take off, and we're excited about him. Yeah, obviously every team has needs. You know, when you look at our team, obviously I would say tight end. You know, we could use another receiver. You know, I like where our offensive line is at. We need to, you know, we're working on Bozeman. Maybe if we get that piece in place. You know, obviously Foreman. There's a lot of pieces in place, but you know, speed at linebacker would be one. Maybe depending on how you're going to play Chin, maybe another safety if he's going to be down, if he's going to be back, all those things. But I like where we're at. Obviously, the quarterback's the biggest thing, though, that, you know, we need to fix long term. And we'll figure out who that is. Is it Sam? Is it one of these other guys? Is it in the draft? We'll figure it out.
When you talk about a veteran quarterback versus the draft, is it an either or could you sign a veteran and then still trade up to the top of the draft?
You could do both, but if you're going to do that, you probably wouldn't pay top dollar for a quarterback at that point. You know, you want to be a little bit smarter about where you spend your money. Maybe that's where you put your money into, maybe a linebacker or a tight end or something else at that point. He's one of the best in the NFL, and you don't let good coaches out of your building. And you know, Dave Tepper and James Campen have a great relationship, and It's so hard to find a really good offensive line coach. And when you talk to our offensive linemen, those guys love him. They play for him. And he got them playing together as a unit very quickly, and they buy into him. He's a great teacher. He's an even better person. He really is. He's an absolutely awesome guy. Obviously, it would, but you would have your draft picks in that case to compensate. Anytime you spend that type of money, that percentage of your cap, that's a lot, and it'd be it's a big hit, and you're making a commitment at that point. All right, thank you.